Okay, well, welcome everybody. We are going to get started on our webinar today. And I know it's 12 o'clock and we want to make sure we're prompted on time. See a few people jumping on board. So hi, Kathy, welcome. Karen, good to see you on the call. And I can see more people coming in. I'm really excited to be able to share with you today what we're working on in our organization for our women's group and for women in general. There's some great things we're doing here, and this is just one of them. And I do want to encourage kind of participation from everybody here on the call, but you know what? Let me go ahead and do a couple of housekeeping items first. Today I am doing double duty. I am not only the presenter, but I am also the coordinator of this, so I have to manage all the back-end stuff. And I want to make sure you guys understand what are your capabilities on this call. When you got on the webinar, you were probably able to see kind of the screen here with your little, the little control panel. And if we look at the control panel closely, we're going to see here that you have the first section is your audio section, where you have the opportunity to choose telephone or microphone and speaker. So either you're going to communicate with us or be interactive with us via your telephone or through the microphone and speakers of your computer. In addition, you have the option to also submit questions through the question panel. And I don't know how interactive today's call will be. It's just more about me making sure everybody understands what this project is about, how it could possibly benefit you, and how you can jump on board. But in case you have anything that you want to ask when we're done or throughout the presentation, go ahead and either raise your hand or type in a question through your control panel. In addition, you are all muted. And so by raising your hand, I know that you want to engage with me, and then we'll go ahead and unmute you when I see your hand raised. And finally, I want to just kind of let you know that the call is being recorded, so you'll be able to access any of this information afterwards, as well as we really encourage your participation. Always, when you're engaged, you're able to get more out of it. And I'm going to try to make this as short as possible, but anytime that I do ask for questions or interaction, if you can go ahead and type something into your question box, that would be great, because you may have something that's on your mind. You may be afraid to ask, but don't be, because I'm sure the question that you have is the same question there are other people on the class may have also. So speak up, be involved, and let's go ahead and get started with this. Gosh, I can see more of you. Welcome, Karen. I know I saw her and Kathy. Mary's on the call. That's great. Let's go ahead and get rolling, though. Let me kind of give you an overview on what we're going to do today. First of all, we're just going to kind of talk briefly about becoming an author, why it's important to position yourself as a leader in your industry, have that book to represent you and be kind of your new business card out there in the world. Then we're going to kind of go into why you may want to participate in our anthology project. And, you know, I'll explain why I got involved with this, how kind of this idea kind of came into our world, and I'm going to kind of share with you the successes that we've had so far with our first book in this series. And here it is. Our first book was Overcoming Mediocrity, Volume 1. And it was great. We came to position this book as a Amazon bestseller in the first day, and it's been a great journey for all of us. Not only us putting the book together, but for the authors as well, because they've gotten some great exposure through participating in this book, and they're doing some great things. So I'll share a little bit about what they're doing as we kind of roll through this call a little bit further. I keep calling it a call, but it's actually a learning experience. It's a webinar. But now, before I get rolling into that and the specifics about our project, I want to share with you a little bit about my journey. I am Christy Ruffino, and I am the president and founder of the Dynamic Professional Women's Network. And gosh, my journey's been long and very twisted, like I'm sure all of yours. I had a very long marriage. I have 2 wonderful children, but after, and I met my husband when I was very young. But after, gosh, many, many years of kind of being in a situation that wasn't necessarily the healthiest for all of us, a decision was made to make some changes. And that was a scary thing, because I'm sure all of you know, anytime when you decide to kind of go down a different path, follow a different road, you know that things may not always be peaches and creams. You know there's going to be some difficulties along the way. And I think the biggest fear is the unknown. So a decision was made to basically start a new journey with me and my children. And I had no idea what was going to be at the end of the road. I had no idea what was going to even be around the next corner. But I knew it was a decision that had to be made. And oh, gosh, we just did it. I just did it. And it was super, super scary. But I won't say it was a super easy journey. But looking back, it was a journey that I don't regret at all. I see all the things that I learned. I see all the people that I met, and I see all of the opportunities that have come to me because of that decision that I made to make some changes. So about 9 years ago, I was a single mom, not knowing how I was going to pay my bills, not knowing how I was going to kind of go forward. I had my identity as a wife and a mom, and though I was still a mom, I wasn't a wife anymore, and I was in a position where I had to earn income. I had to support my family. And prior to that, my identity had been as a wife, but it also had been as a business partner. And my role was not only to raise my family, but to support my husband's business. He was self-employed, and my marketing experience, my design experience, my experience basically I didn't even have any other experience, but I learned the on-the-job experience of managing a business, managing the finances of a business, and taking a concept that he had and actually turning it into a very thriving auto repair business with multiple locations. My world was good before my divorce in regards to our creature comforts. We had a beautiful house. We had all the great toys. You know what? We didn't really have to worry. I didn't have to worry too much about the money aspect of it. I just had to worry about making sure the business was successful in the key areas that were my focus. And I had to make sure that my kids were happy and healthy the best that I could. And so that was kind of where I was at. But now all of a sudden my world is upside down. I had to now not only continue to take care of my children, but I had to earn money, and I didn't know what that looked like. I had a degree in advertising and design, so I knew how to market a business. But before then, I didn't have my own business, and I had a few jobs. I actually got a management job at UPS just so we could have medical insurance, but I never engaged down the path to pursue my career. I never got into the business world to pursue my marketing passion. So at that point, I would have loved to have pursued my passion, but I think the overwhelming need to support my family became the priority. And I got a job in the mortgage industry. And it was through somebody I met through the church. It was a company that had a great foundation, great company, and I learned a lot of great skills there. One of the things that I really just totally value, and I realized how this was God's influence on my life, was that even though I came to realize that doing mortgages was not my lifelong dream and it wasn't something I wanted to do forever, I did begin my journey at that company even though I didn't stay with that company. And what do I mean by that? Well, I knew to build my business as a mortgage professional, I had to get referrals. But I also knew that getting referrals for mortgages wasn't going to be the easiest thing to do. You know, that's a pretty private matter. Most people aren't really willing to share their financial portfolio with you without having some kind of personal reference. So although I was networking with chambers of commerce and different things to get out and get exposure, I quickly came to realize that I wanted to get in a referral group. I knew that I wanted to build my business by getting referrals from people who knew, liked, and trust me, because I knew I would have better results with those potential clients if they were referred to me by somebody that we had as a mutual acquaintance, a mutual friendship. So I tried to get in a couple referral organizations, and I don't know if you remember, but about 8 years ago, everybody and their brother and sisters were doing mortgages. Everybody was doing refinancing, and I jumped on that bandwagon because it was a great opportunity. But the challenge is to find business because there was so much competition out there. So I tried to get in a BNI. I tried to get in a Allie Lawson's leads group. I tried to get in, well, chambers didn't really have referral groups. Most of them didn't back then. They do now. But I did pretty much exhaust all of my options to get in a referral group, and none of them had the mortgage category open. So, being the entrepreneur that I was, my idea was to get women together that I knew and start my own leads group. So I did. And I got some professional women together. We started meeting. We created a structure. And that was the inception of DPWN, which we call the Dynamic Professional Women's Network. And let me share a little bit about what that is, because that is kind of the beginning of this journey. That is where we are. We are a very powerful women's organization. We have multiple chapters all over the Chicagoland area and Wisconsin. Our goal right now is to position ourselves as a very powerful network and to grow to become a national resource for women all over. International, I've got somebody from London that wants to get a chapter going, but I'm not sure I'm quite there yet. But national expansion is definitely on our radar. We have a great team of women that are putting together a plan to not only train our leadership team, support our leadership team, but also to make sure our members get trained better, because networking is not something that is an easy thing to do. We don't get trained to network. We don't go to school to learn how to network. And I honestly see so many people that network so terribly that that's one of my passions, is to help educate women to get more results with their networking, better results with their networking by networking correctly and building relationships with people. And you don't have to know a million people, but just having a few key people on your team that you're building relationships with that are out there advocating for you and you're advocating for them, there is nothing more powerful than that. So that's a little bit about me, my journey. That's how we got to have a women's network that we have. This is our website. It's www.dpwomen.com. And like I mentioned, we have multiple chapters all over. We just celebrated our 6th year anniversary. And, this has been a constant change for me, or constant journey for me, because what we started off with one chapter, I never intended to continue to grow the network, but, we became very successful, and one chapter led to 3 chapters, which led to 5, and then 6, and then, 7. Now we've got almost 30 chapters, and we're going to continue to grow. But I also know we need to continue to be a stronger resource for women and provide that educational opportunity and that opportunity to position themselves as experts. So when they're out networking, they are out there getting better results. So that led me to the next path on my journey, and that is I met a wonderful woman called Michelle Prince, and she introduced me, or actually she didn't introduce me. She introduced my women to learn how to become authors themselves. Excuse me, we need a little drink there. So we had quite a few free webinars that she put on to give our members the education on how to put their own book together. And I really encourage all of you, if you have ever thought about having a book, make sure that you put that on your to-do list and make that happen, because it is a very, very powerful tool as you're trying to grow your business. But Michelle, she introduced me, or my women, to the educational topic of becoming an author, why it's important, and actually how to put your book together. And the learning webinars for that, they're still housed in our university, so if you need access to that, let me know. But in the meantime, she also asked me if I wanted to participate in her anthology book, and here it is. This is my first book. It's called Dare to Be a Difference Maker, Volume 2. She actually has done a few of them, and I am in the Volume 2 book of her series. And it was a great experience. And what I did for this book is I actually shared my story. My story was meant to encourage others. And I'm going to talk a little bit about our story, your story, in a moment. But this book was pretty much the book that opened the door to lots of things. It opened up the door for me to utilize this as my business card as I'm out networking. And it also sparked the idea to bring this kind of project back to our members, back to our women. And that's what led us to our book, which is Overcoming Mediocrity. And I wanted to create a project that was relevant to our members, that is relevant to women all over, and that really kind of captured what we're trying to do together. And the book that we did, Overcoming Mediocrity, is a unique collection of stories from dynamic women who have all created their own lives of significance. It may be in their professional world, but it also could be in their personal life. It could be in their spiritual life, in their physical life. Whatever their journey has been, it's a journey that is meant to inspire and encourage others. So we put this book together, and this is our website that we created for the book. And I want to talk a little bit about the project, and I'm going to actually jump over to the website. But what I want to do first is kind of talk a little bit, really briefly. I'm just going to, there's a lot of reasons why you should be an author. And I'm not going to go through all of them. But I really want to kind of highlight the major reasons why you should make becoming an author one of your priorities. First of all, books are becoming the new business card. So as you're out networking, if you have a book, it's going to really set you apart from your competition. Not only in networking, but with your clients. Having a book really gives you more credibility and added expertise status with your current clients and prospects. And, this really will set you apart. there are so few people in the business world that have actually taken that idea and had it come to fruition. I read recently that it's only 4% of people have ever become authors. And I'm not sure if that's necessarily in the genre of what we're looking to do. I'm sure that's authors all over. So if you kind of take the business world and see who and see who's become an author to utilize as a business card, I'm sure it's like, I don't know, 0.25% of the population. So let's get ahead of the bandwagon on that, ladies, and let's make sure that we put becoming an author a priority. It gives you unique exposure, added credibility, and that expertise status. Now I want to share with you why being an author in an anthology book is even more powerful. It's a different kind of a power, because having your own book, yes, this is your book. But if you're in an anthology book with a bunch of other authors, it actually can give you something different. First of all, it gives you additional exposure, because now you have all these other women out there also promoting your book. In our last book, we had 22 authors. So, you know, each of the authors had 21 other women out there promoting their book. So that was a huge benefit. It will increase your network, because now you've got these other authors that you are networking with and learning from and partnering up with. So I definitely encourage you to get to know the other authors of the book, because that's a huge resource for you that you should definitely tap into. And by the way, just popped an idea in my head that I need to tap into the authors of the other book that I'm a part of, because I've only tapped in, I met a few of them. So I definitely want to make sure I reach out to them, as well as being an author in our book. That's something that should be done. Being an author in an anthology book is way faster than doing your whole book. You not only have to write your story, you know, you have to just write a story. You have to write a small 2,000-word max article of content. And that is way easier to do than putting together a full book of 40,000 words. So being an author in an anthology book is something that can be done very quickly, because your part is very small. You only have to write one chapter. It's also very economical. It's also very economical, because you don't have to have the full expense of publishing and printing your whole book, your own book. You're contributing a piece of the puzzle, and it is peanuts as far as the investment that you make in this book. Actually, I know most businesses have marketing budgets, and the investment to participate in an anthology book is generally a lot less expensive than you even have for your marketing budget. So it could be a very integral part of you growing your business and part of your marketing plan. So those are the key reasons why being an anthology book is so powerful. You can get the results quicker, faster, or easier, quicker, as well as you can definitely save a lot on your budget. But what I'd like to do now is kind of go over to our website and go over some of the key components to make sure that you have all your questions answered. This is our site, and there are a lot of different areas on here that you want to visit. We're making some changes, but right now let's go to the important portions. There is going to be an application process, and once you kind of figure out what your participation portion wants to be, then we'll go ahead and have you apply for a chapter. We want to make sure for the Volume 2 book that we have a bunch of women that are all having the same focus, and that is to put together a quality book. So if we go to, I think the key page to go to are the participation options, because I want to go through the various ways that you can participate. And this is a really simple breakdown. This is in the page called Contributing Participation Options, and it is under Become a Contributing Author page. It's also, if you go to the Project Documents page, you see a few links, and each one of those links, if you click on them will bring up a PDF that will break down all of the participation options in more detail. So you've got that. You've got why to become a contributing author. That's a 2-page document breaking down all the reasons why an author is so important. We have the submission guidelines that actually take you through step-by-step what we need from you, as well as there is a payment agreement in case you want to break your investment down into payments. But let's go back to the participation option page, and you can see we have 3 levels of participation. We have silver, gold, and platinum. And the silver member has all of the benefits of the all of the authors, except anything to do with your front or back cover exposure. So you get story placement in the book, you get the basic editing and formatting, you can submit your complete bio for the book as well as for our website. It will include complete publishing and printing, e-version of the book for you to share. You're included in our Facebook community group, as well as I mentioned, you will be featured on the project website, and that website will also have the keyword searchability. So we ask for you to give us your external information so people can find you once they find you on our website, as well as different keywords that are applicable specifically to you. So as a silver member, you get to participate in the book. And so that is definitely a great benefit. So you can get all of the benefits of all the other members, but you don't get that exposure as you would for being on the front or back cover. So let's go to the gold member level next. And you get all of the benefits that you get in the silver level, but you also get featured. Well, we got the featured on the project website, but you also get social media exposure. So we actually promote you on social media to make sure that we drive traffic back to you. We give you a prepared press release, so when it's all over, the book's all done, you can go out there and get some great press in your market. We give you a media pitch, story angles, topics, so you can now approach different media outlets with pitch angles, and that's really important because when you send a press release to the different media outlets, you may not get the traction unless you kind of give them some story angles to tie into your story, because they're not going to read your book. They're not going to really know what it's about. But if you provide them with those story angles, it will really help them connect with you better. You will be included in the strategy to become a best-selling author on Amazon, which is going to be for all levels, but we will give you added exposure by being a front or back cover author. You also get 250 personalized project bookmarks. So these are bookmarks that you can share out. They're kind of like a business card. It's going to have your photo on there and your contact information. But as you're marketing your book, this is a great way for you to go out and share these with the people when you're networking. And as we go to our next level of participation, which is the platinum level, you get everything that was included, plus postcards, which are personalized with your photo and contact information on them. They're like marketing tools, as well as you get additional bookmarks, but you also get your picture on the front cover. So as you can see, our book, I don't have a picture of the back cover, which I will make sure that I post that, but you can see having your picture on the front cover is a great benefit because now as you're sharing the book, you are right there on the front. So that's a great benefit. Let's go back to participation options. So this page pretty much breaks down the 3 options, the cost, the investment for each options, and then if you click on the more info button, it will bring you to more details about each one. But I do want to point out that these prices on here are our full retail price, and basically this is our non-member price because we do have, and we know we will have authors in the book that are not a part of our network and not a part of our community. But our members do have a discount. So for whatever level you participate in, the price you see will be reduced by $300 if you're already a current chapter member in our organization, or you can be a virtual member. So that is an option, and you can contact me if you want to find out more information about being a virtual member. But if you look here, if you click any of these more info buttons, what it will do is will bring you to a page that will give you more details about that participation level. And you can see here, this one that we clicked on is specifically the gold level. And if you look through it, it kind of breaks down further all the benefits. And then there's an apply now button. And when you apply to be a part of this book, we do have a form that we want you to fill out. It's either on the bottom of this page or by clicking the apply now button, it will take you to this form. We want this contact information to make sure that we really analyze the authors of the book to make sure we're all working together. You know, God, I can't even imagine, but there could be the possibility that somebody wants to be a part of the book and their story could be on something super crazy that is not in alignment with any of the values and goals of the professional women of our organization. So we want to kind of make sure we vet our authors beforehand. So when we're putting our names on a book with other women, we're all comfortable with the fact that we're all quality women that we want to be associated with. So here's the application process. We do ask for you to pay to secure your spot. Just be assured that if for some reason we determine that it's not a good mutual fit for you to be in our book, that payment will be credited to you within 72 hours. We will void that payment. We won't process that, or we'll credit you within 72 hours to make sure that that is not something that is going to be a burden on your shoulders in any way. But we do want to make sure we have your commitment. We're going to spend the time to go through this with you and work with you. We want to make sure that you're seriously committed into investing into being a part of this book. So that is the process. I know you may have some hesitation, and I think two of the items that you could be hesitant about are, okay, my story is not that important, or I don't know how to write a book. So I want to address those objections in a minute. I want to get back here quickly though, because I forgot to mention on this form, this is the form for the gold offer, and this is where you would apply to be a gold level author. But if by any chance you want to check out the silver or platinum author benefits, you can click on the bottom of this page and it will take you to those also. So each level has its own informational page because it breaks down the benefits of each level specifically, as well as different testimonials from current authors. And if for some reason you choose a level and decide after the fact that you want to change your level, we can always adjust that. But we do need to make sure that you apply through this process to make sure we secure your spot. We actually have 5 authors committed already. We just rolled this out, this week to our current membership. I've got another 6 already that are like on the fence, just ready to commit. They're making sure that they want to make sure that they make a decision based on logic, not just off of rash impulse. So they're in the decision-making process right now, but I'm really, really confident that we're going to get the book filled up very quickly because I have very aggressive plans to get the book done, printed, and in your hands before the holidays, before the Christmas holidays. So that's a little bit about the process here to secure your spot or apply to secure your spot. So everything, as I mentioned, is accessible on our website. All the different options are here. I know if we go to the website and we look at the Volume 1 authors, I'd like to share a little bit about how some of these authors are leveraging their author status to kind of help grow their business and position themselves as experts. Dr. Christine Cosgrove here in the middle. She is a local chiropractor, and her story is really relative to her industry, and she's using this with her current client base and as a way to kind of let her clients know that she's special. She's, not an ordinary chiropractor. She not only has a great story to share, but she also now is an author. She's got her own book, so that's really powerful. I know Edie Gibson here and Linda Muhlenberg down at the bottom left. They are both professional speakers, and they're using their book as a way to get added credibility when they're out there on stage, as well as it gives them great back of the room sales when they're out there presenting. So that's been a great resource for them to be a part of this project. And I know both of them are working on their own book, but this was a way to kind of get those author benefits quickly. Edie, Linda both signed into Volume 1, our Volume 1 project, and really had a book in their hand maybe 2.5 months later. I think if I look back at the time frame, it was 2-3 months by the time we got their stories. Maybe not even that long, because they were one of the final authors, and we were just finalizing the editing process, and then we had to get the book laid out and edited again, as well as then printed. So it may have been 2.5 months by the time they committed and they had a book in their hand. So that was very quick. Maureen Veal up in the top right-hand corner, she is the CEO of National Landlines, and I know she speaks a lot, and this has been something that I don't think she used. I'm pretty sure she doesn't use it for back of the room sales, but she does give away the book to a lot of people as she's out there speaking, because she is just one of those women that just loves to help people. She was a speaker for us a few years ago. She's got a great story, and she is just one of those servant leaders that's out there really caring about the women that she connects with, well, the people that she connects with, and more importantly, her employees. She's just an impeccable leader, and her story is all about her leadership skills and her leadership journey as the CEO of National Landlines. Let's see, who else? Phyllis Benstein down at the bottom. She is working on building her platform as a professional speaker, and I know this has been a huge, huge tool for her to get exposure in her journey. Shirley Swanson down at the bottom, she actually has an amazing story about her journey with her son. It is a very emotional story, and it's very inspiring. I mean, what she's gone through with that process through his whole life, it's just one of those stories that, I see Shirley so differently now that I kind of know a little bit more about her. So I can go on and on. I mean, we got Darla Anderson. She's just an amazing spiritual coach, and she's using this with some of her retreats and in her speaking platform. Tiffany Hinton, Lillian, Jackie, I can go on. Every woman here has a great story. That's why they chose to share it in our book, but more importantly, they're utilizing this as a tool to leverage who they are as a professional. It really is giving them added credibility, expertise, and more marketing power. So kudos to them for jumping on board, and it's been a great journey so far. But okay, objections. I know you're thinking, first of all, maybe your story is not good enough, and all I have to say to you is I thought the same thing when I was approached by Michelle to share my story. I really kind of thought, well, you know what? It's just my story. It's not that special. I had to go through it. It's life. My life is my life. I didn't really look at it as a remarkable story. But since, with her encouragement, I took my story out of my head, put it into words, and I've had so many. I mean, just today I had somebody share with me how they gave the book to a friend, and that this friend read the book. They're going through some very challenging times, and my story was one of them that really helped them kind of stay strong and have the confidence that they can move forward. So everybody has a short story to tell. Everybody has a legacy to leave. So you know what? At the very least, you have family. Wouldn't that be a great gift or great legacy to share with your kids? For them to know you are a published author. Being in this book gives you that title. It gives you that legacy. So I just want to, if you were here, I'd kind of slap you upside the head, say what's wrong with you. Just have confidence that your story is remarkable. Your journey should be shared. And even if you touch one person, help one person, enlighten one person, make one person stronger to get through or to achieve great things, you know what? It's all worth it. So that is an obstacle that should not be valid. Let me go to the next obstacle or objection you may have. You're not a writer. I get it. I'm not a writer either. I'm a terrible wordsmith, and it takes me so much time to put together verbal, written words in a way that's logical, that people want to read, that people can follow. I'm a little ADD, so I feel sometimes, everything that comes out of my head or out of my mind is a little jumbled. Even though it makes sense to me, I know it doesn't make sense to others. But I did spend some time. I spent a whole weekend. It was a wonderful weekend. I kind of disconnected and just kind of spent it on my own, and I put my story down on paper, and I made it happen. So all I can tell you is we have actually a how-to guide to kind of craft the outline of your story, how to develop your focus and put it together in a logical manner. And we also have the resource to connect you with a great ghostwriter. So if you don't think that you can put your story together, you can craft it, you can outline it, you can put that content together, if it's just not something you can do, or you feel you just don't have the time, putting together a 2,000-word story is not that long, but, we're all busy, so I get it. Maybe it's just not something that is feasible to you right now. We do have a ghostwriter that will definitely help you through the whole process. But I do want to encourage you to try it on your own, at least get a good start. And we do have a great, great resource for you to walk you through step-by-step of that process. It's kind of like a little workbook. And I think that's it. So, we are filling up, or we're interviewing our authors for Volume 2. We have the same plan that we had for Volume 1 to market it through social media, through local media outlets, just, online. Our online marketing efforts have been great. We have learned so much with the first volume. We did things with the first volume that we didn't know we were going to do. And I'm sure with Volume 2, it's going to even be better. We've got some great traction going already. We actually have an interview this Saturday, myself and a few of the authors at WGN on, 12:15 on AM channel. I don't know the exact AM radio channel, but we will be on talking about the book, talking about the project. We have a full force marketing campaign to really share the book and share the opportunity for Volume 2. And that's going to be rolling out next week, as well as I do have an on-camera, kind of scaring me, interview with the actual WGN TV channel. So that's coming up also. So you know what, there are great things happening with this project. I'm really excited to be able to offer this as an opportunity for the women of our organization. And I'm super excited to see the results they're getting for the current authors. And I'm very proud that we took this concept and brought it to fruition in such a successful manner that it is just, it's just pretty much overcome any way. It's just surpassed all my expectations. It's just been way better than I even thought it could be. And I know Volume 2 is even going to be better yet. So if you have any questions, please give me a call. Our contact information, my contact information is on this website. There's a phone number here that you can reach out to me and give me a jingle. And I would love to brainstorm with you about your story. I would love to learn a little bit more about, first of all, how you found out about our project, as well as how we can take your involvement and leverage it for you, whatever your goal is. Maybe you just want to share your story. That's great. But if you want to leverage this participation, utilize it to market your business and market whatever your goals are, and so you can achieve those goals with this as one of your tools, I want to brainstorm with you on how we can make that happen. So I guess that's all. I really appreciate your attention. I guess I just ask if you have any questions. Go ahead and type them in. I haven't seen any so far. Like I said, this is not necessarily a super interactive webinar, but it was meant to kind of give you some basic information, and hopefully I provided that. I guess the last thing I do want to share with you, I do have one question. Somebody has asked me if the revenue for the book sales, how is that managed? Well, here's how we do it. I will put the book on Amazon when we're done. It has to be on Amazon because that gives us credibility. We have to be an Amazon published book. So if anybody ever goes to Amazon, they can go to the book, or they can search for the book, and they can find volume 1, volume 2, and any of the volumes as we continue with this series. People can buy the book on Amazon. Obviously, that's why it's there. Any of the book sales for those books is part of our project. So that will be part of the DPW and publishing revenue. But I'm not out there marketing to sell the book. I want the authors to be selling the books, and I want the authors to be generating the revenue for the books that they sell. So when the project is done, we will contact you, or when we're done editing and out for printing, we will contact you and find out how many books you want to order. And we're not including the books in the price of your participation because everybody has different needs, and everybody has different, in our last project we had one girl that only ordered 12 books, but we had one girl that ordered 900 books. So, everybody has different needs, and what we've done is we've priced it out anywhere between, I think it was $4 or $3.50 and $4.50 per book is what you would buy them, order them for. And then I collect all those orders, and the retail value of the books are $19.95, so you can see there's a huge profit margin for you. Even if you buy the books at $4.50, you're making a huge chunk of money on the sales of your books. But we put the orders together. You pre-order your books so you have them, and then we encourage you to sell your books. Now, down the road, if you need more books, we will be creating an online, we will be giving you a link to order subsequent books, and the price will be a little bit more expensive, or they are a little bit more expensive than your pre-orders, but the goal is for us to direct people to the authors to be buying the books that way. And so that's how the goal is for that. And if you have an online shopping cart function that you have already established, we do have a page. I don't have anybody that's done this yet for our volume 1, but if somebody comes to our website and finds this purchase this book page, it will give them the links to buy the book directly from us if they want to, download the Kindle version, or purchase through Amazon. But I have encouraged any of the authors to send me links, and what we'll do is we'll be having shopping cart links on here, so if somebody wants to order them directly through you as an author, we'll put your contact information in your link, and it'll take them directly to your shopping cart. So that's my goal, is to, the best we can, direct people to the authors to buy them directly from you. So that is a question I have, and I don't have any other questions, but you can feel free to get a hold of me if something comes up that maybe I didn't answer, and I do want to finish promptly. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and end the call, and I really encourage you to seriously consider, if not being a part of our anthology book, putting your book together. You know what, I've heard so many stories, and I'm actually working on my book. My stuff keeps getting pushed to the side as I work on stuff for my members, which is great, but challenging for me. But I've heard so many stories from so many of our members that have put their books together already, and it's just made such an impact in their business and in their lives. So encourage you to write a book, some sort, even if it's a small book, if it's a little overwhelming for you. I encourage you to research more about being a part of our Overcoming Mediocrity anthology project. I really can see, as we've been getting traction, I can see this turning into a huge, huge positive experience. It's pretty much taking on a life of its own, and I can see it even getting bigger and better. So we would love to have you be a part of it. So thank you very much for being on part of the call. I see everybody that's on here, and I really encourage you to reach out to me if you have any questions. Other than that, have a great day, and if there's anything else I can help you with, please feel free to reach out to me. I would love to be a valuable resource for you in whatever you need. Thank you.